Dear Clara, getting married after having a child is not what you'd usually hear in fairy tales. But we wanted to be really sure that we're ready to take on this path.
The process of getting married has so much friction that you need to invoke and revisit your reasons. I actually proposed 3 years ago in front of with a gold-plated ring I bought.
We were still naive when we decided to get married 3 years ago.
We got sidetracked with career derailments and a bunch of domestic issues, and a lot of discussions and resolutions.
And we wanted to reevaluate all our assumptions for your sake, and especially for us as individuals. Let's backtrack to 3 years ago when I met your dad. I thought he was a spoiled, rich, only child. After a few dates, this impression morphed into a responsible businessman. In just 2 months after meeting each other, he would propose, I'd say yes, then we'd move in together.
I first noticed her on Instagram, and I mistook her for Girls' Generation's Soo Young. Then I learned she was my roommate's notorious classmate, who asked a lot of questions in class. A few days later, I asked her out. We ended up trying out this cheesy activity, 36 questions for intimacy. It was a very long conversation. It was originally a 45-minute activity, but for us it lasted for 3 days. And from there we parsed that our core values are truth and grit.
It was fun being together. I enjoyed our conversations and talking about our dreams and aspirations. It was really amazing how we connect and how much of the stuff we wanted to do aligned. But living together also exposed us to each other's flaws. I grew up in an unpredictable environment, and I would often have to look after myself. So I grew up extremely independent, and I preferred to do everything myself.
When I was growing up, our household did not value doing chores ourselves. We mostly delegated household chores to house help. And as the eldest, I also had the extra perk of outsourcing any apparently unavoidable task to my younger brothers.
A lot of our arguments would stem from that point of conflict.
A few weeks into our relationship, she had the infinite wisdom to ask me to compose a howtolove.me.txt. She told me to do it freestyle, and she told me to do it urgently while she still loved me. I wrote that I would inevitably make boneheaded mistakes, but when that happens, to please remember that I always have her best interests at heart.
Our differences were nothing compared to how our core values align, so we always choose to improve over leaving.
When we found out Mom was pregnant with you, we were unprepared, nervous because we had little money, weren't married, and had plans that we knew would be postponed due to the copious amounts of time and energy necessary to raise a child the way we had envisioned together.
I distinctly remember your dad telling me that, yes, we are unprepared, but we will be, and that made all the difference. Your dad really stepped up. He took care of both of us and would hold us together when I couldn't. Our demands from each other grew, but so did our ability to adjust.
But we had much help along the way. Mom and I spent your 9 months getting psychologically and emotionally ready for you and the evolution of our relationship.
Your dad and I don't have a fairy tale life. This is not a happy ending. This is a life of continuous healing, growth, and progress, with patience and love at its core. And I love knowing that each day with your dad is a step closer to being the best person we can be.
The process of getting married has so much friction that you need to invoke and revisit your reasons. The real reason, Clara, and nobody should ever have to settle for anything less, is love.